What's up, ninjas, and welcome to Yoga with Dojo Cat, and welcome to February's hour-long yoga flow. So happy to have you here. Hi, bunny. Welcome. So today's yoga flow is going to focus on opening up the hips, but we're also going to touch on stretching out the legs. And of course, like the usual, stretching, strengthening. And also, I thought I would start to incorporate some affirmations into these classes. I have this deck that's called Listen Bitch, and I can't really swear on the YouTube channel, so I'm gonna swear for you guys here. But today's affirmation for you to carry with you throughout this practice, or maybe throughout the day. Maybe this is the intention that you want to set, but listen, bitch, you're allowed to fail. Learn from it, dust yourself off, and fuck shit up. And I'll just show you the card. It's really cute. I'm not being paid to say this yet. Maybe I'll send them an email. But anyways, that is the message we're going to carry with us today. You're allowed to fail. Just learn from your mistakes, pick yourself up, and keep going. So that's what I am going to carry with me today and through everything that I'm doing. So props, you don't need any. If you want to use them, you're welcome to. I just have a cup of tea over here in a Christmas mug because I'm not on theme. It's actually the day after Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. Let's just get into it. Beginning in a comfortable seat, maybe a cross-legged position, maybe you want to straighten the legs out in front of you, maybe you want to sit on your knees. It's up to you. You're your own boss. Just making sure that your weight is grounded evenly in between your butt cheeks. You're pulling the spine nice and tall, rolling the shoulders up and down away from the ears. And if you like, you can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, just keep your gaze soft. We're going to move into a breathing exercise, starting by inhaling through the nose, feeling your chest lift, feeling your belly rise, noticing the sensation. Sorry, my cat's on her tree. Noticing the sensation of the air going in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Hey, you. And then bringing the hands to the chest so you can feel the process happening, feeling the lift of your chest as your lungs inflate. Feeling it drop as you exhale. Then taking the hands to the rib cage, feeling the rib cage expand as you inhale. Maybe that inspires you to take deeper breaths so you can really feel the process. And finally, bringing the hands to the belly, taking deeper breaths so you can feel the belly press out into your hands. And exhaling all the air out, feeling your belly concave. And then bringing the hands to the knees, allowing your breath to return to normal. And remembering that intention, allow yourself to fuck up. Just pick yourself up after and keep going. And when you're ready, we'll gently open the eyes and come back to awareness, and we will begin our practice today. Oh boy, you're going to be a handful today, aren't you? It's okay, the people love it. We are going to begin our flow today in a child's pose, bringing the knees wide, big toes to touch, melting the hips down to the heels, expanding the arms out in front of us, and bringing the forehead to the mat. If you have any lower back pain, you can close your knees. Just depends on what you need today. But since we're focusing on opening up the hips today, I'm gonna choose the wide-legged one. And we're also gonna think about keeping the forearms nice and active. So your fingers are spread wide, your arms are lifted off the mat, you're pressing into your hands. And if you need more of a stretch in those shoulders, just crawl your fingers out a little farther in front of you. And maybe you need some gentle movement in this pose. Maybe you want to rock side to side, dropping one elbow at a time. Very nice. One more breath here. Inhaling to expand the belly in between the thighs, exhaling out through the mouth. Just noting any areas where you're feeling tension. Not judging them, just noting them, maybe giving the feelings a name. And we'll lift up, coming into a tabletop position. And we'll bring the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, and we'll do some cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone and chin. Exhale, arch the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, press the mat away. Inhale to expand and cow. Exhale to contract in cat. And just keep going, linking your movement to your breath, going at your own pace. Just giving our spines some nice, gentle love. Beautiful. We're gonna add in some hip circles here. So bringing the hands a little bit in front of the shoulder and dropping the hips down almost as if we're coming into a cobra pose. Then pulling the hips all the way to the right, shifting the hips back towards the heels, bringing the hips over to the left, coming forward, dropping the hips for that cobra. And keep going, just drawing these nice big circles with the hips. Just working out the clicks and ticks in the spine and the hips. And changing direction. My knees, my hips, and my ankle, or not my ankles, my wrists are making some noise. But that's okay. Beautiful. Come back to that tabletop position. Bring the hands back under the hips, extend the right leg out, flex the toes, and press into the ball of your foot. Now, if you follow me on my YouTube channel, you'll know that this beginning of the flow is the video that I just posted. Actually, I have no idea when this video is going out, so. But anyways, so I did a portion of this flow on the YouTube channel. So if this feels familiar to you, that's why. Beautiful. Lifting that right leg parallel, extending out the left arm, reaching, really trying to create space in the vertebrae, reaching your fingers away from the toes. And releasing the left hand to the mat and taking the right foot to step in between the hands. Maybe shifting that left knee back a little bit to come into a low lunge. Let's just make sure we have proper alignment here. Our knee is over top of the heel and we're pressing that knee outwards. You're tucking your tailbone underneath. Pull the spine nice and tall. Roll the shoulders up, down, away from the ears. And just sink into this nice little lunge. And then maybe on your next inhale, you want to raise your hands to the sky, maybe bending back a little bit to give the spine a little stretch. And releasing that back bend, bringing the right fingertips to the mat and bending over with that left arm to the right. Nice side body stretch on the left side. Releasing that bend, bringing the left hand to the mat inside the right foot, extending the right arm to the sky for a twist. Beautiful. Release that twist. Bring that right hand to the mat. Shift your weight back and bring the right knee back underneath the hip. Inhale the right arm to the sky. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left arm, bringing your right shoulder and right face cheek to the mat. Now you can stay exactly where you are with that left hand under the shoulder, pressing into the mat. Or if you need a little tricep and bicep stretch, extend that arm out in front of you. Or maybe you want to take a bind with that left arm, wrapping it around your lower back, maybe reaching for the opposite thigh. It just depends on what you need on that side. One more breath here. And we'll bring that left hand back underneath the shoulder and press up. Inhaling the right arm to the sky one more time. And coming back to our tabletop. And we'll take that little flow to the other side. Extending the left leg out behind you, pressing into the ball of the foot, maybe rocking back and forth. And then when you're ready, lifting the left leg parallel and extending the right arm in front of you, reaching, creating space in the body. Beautiful. Releasing the right hand to the mat, bringing the left foot in between the hands, maybe shifting that right knee back. Making sure you've got that proper alignment for our low lunge. And if it feels right for you, extending the arms to the sky and leaning backwards. Releasing that back bend, bringing the left fingertips to the mat and reaching that right arm over to the left for a side bend. One more breath here. And on your next exhale, releasing the right hand to the mat inside that right foot and extending the left arm to the sky for a twist. Releasing the twist, shifting the weight back, bringing that left foot so the knees back under the hip. Inhale the left arm to the sky. Exhale, thread the arm underneath the right, bringing the left shoulder and left face cheek to the mat. And then consider what you did on the other side. Maybe you want to keep your right hand where it is. Maybe you want to reach out in front of you. Or maybe you want to take that bind. It just depends on what you need. Some people like to make sure everything's the same to stay balanced, but maybe your shoulders need different things. Maybe one shoulder is a little tighter than the other. And one more breath here. On your exhale, releasing your bind or bringing that right hand back under the shoulder, pressing up, extending the left arm to the sky one more time, and then coming back to that tabletop position. And we'll plant the hands, tuck the toes, and lift the hips to the sky for our first downward facing dog. You might need some movement here, pedaling out the feet, or maybe rocking up onto the tiptoes. Just making sure your neck is nice and relaxed. Beautiful. Or maybe you need to find some stillness. If you need the focus of the stretch on your spine instead of the hamstrings, give your knees a generous bend. And bending the knees, taking your gaze forward to hop, step, or float to bring your feet to the top of your mat, or I'm in the center, it doesn't really matter. And then meeting in a forward fold. Again, taking whatever movement you need here, pedaling out the feet, or maybe tucking the hands into the elbows and just letting your top half hang. Again, just important to remember to keep that neck nice and relaxed. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Tiptoeing the feet out so they're about as wide as the mat, but the toes are facing outwards. Drop the hips down and meet in your yogi squat. Pulling the spine nice and tall. Weight is in the heels. This is one of those uncomfortable poses where it's important to bring the mind to the breath. The mind-body connection is a real thing. So you can use that breath to create space in the areas you're feeling tension, and exhale to let that tension go. Couple more breaths here. Keep that spine nice and long. And on your next exhale, plant the hands, straighten the legs, tiptoe the feet so that they're about hip distance apart, meeting back in our forward fold just for a couple breaths. And then really slowly, one vertebrae at a time, rolling up to come into our mountain pose. Rolling the shoulders up and down, away from the ears at the top. Inhale your hands to the sky, interlocking the fingers and turning the palms out. Exhale, bending to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend. Beautiful. Come back to the top. Release your fingers. And give your shoulders a couple rolls. I'm just going to take 1 minute here to take my sweatshirt off. So I'll snap my fingers and then I'll look a little bit different. All right, putting your weight into that right foot, stepping back with the left, a little wider than your hips, turning the toes out at a 45-degree angle, straightening that front leg. Inhale the hands to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips over that straight leg. Maybe letting the hands come to the mat under your shoulders for our pyramid pose. If this is too intense on your joint, feel free to give yourself a bend in that knee. Bending that right knee, placing your hands underneath the shoulders, turning the hips so that they're square to the mat, and then lifting the left leg so that it's parallel for standing splits. Think about squeezing your thighs together, squeezing your core, and finding something to focus on. If you need a challenge, you can take your hands and wrap them around your heel of the standing leg. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and we're going to gently tip that left foot back to the mat and then rise up for a crescent lunge, bending that front leg. Beautiful work. Now, if you struggled with that pose, that's okay. Remember that intention we set at the beginning of class. You're allowed to mess up. You're allowed to fall out of poses. What's important is coming back to those poses and trying again. And transitioning to our warrior 2, pivoting that back foot so it's parallel with the back of your mat, bringing the arms parallel, finding length from your right fingertips all the way to the left fingertips. And cartwheeling the hands down to the mat. Come into a high plank, pausing here for breath. Dropping down to the knees, lowering yourselves all the way to the belly. Inhaling into cobra, straightening the legs. Exhale, pressing into child's pose. Beautiful work. Take a second in this rest pose to do a little body scan. Note how you feel now compared to how you felt when you started. Maybe your right side is burning a little bit. Maybe it's feeling stronger. Maybe the places where you held tension at the beginning of class are different right now. Just noting without judging. And when you are ready, taking a nice deep breath in, really filling the belly. Exhaling. And pressing up, planting the hands, tucking the toes, lifting the hips to the sky for downward facing dog. If you have any tension in your neck, you can feel free to nod your head yes. Or shake your head no. Bending the knees, taking the gaze forward. A hop, step, or float to bring yourself to the top of your mat, meeting in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And crawling the feet out to the edge of your mat, pointing the toes out, bending the knees, dropping the hips, coming into our yogi squat. Maybe you want to use your elbows to deepen the pose a little bit this time, pressing on the inside of the knees. Again, using that breath to help you with your discomfort. A couple more breaths. And on your next exhale, planting the hands, straightening the legs, tiptoeing the feet about hip distance apart, leaning back in our forward fold just briefly. And then rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Rolling shoulders up and down away from the ears to come into your mountain pose. Grounding down evenly in the feet, just taking a second to notice the pressure of your feet on the mat. Keeping ourselves in the present moment. Inhale the hands to the sky, interlocking the fingers, turn the palms out. Exhale, bend over to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend. And come back to center. Release your fingers. Putting your weight into your left foot this time, taking a step back, a little wider than your hips, heels aligned, right toes facing out at that angle, straightening that front leg. Inhale the hands to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips over that left straight leg. Maybe bringing the hands to the mat under the shoulders, relaxing the neck for our pyramid pose. And bending that left leg, shifting the hands a little bit higher out under the shoulders, turning the hips to be square to the mat, lifting the right leg up, trying to pull the nose to the knee for our standing splits. And again, if you want to challenge yourself, wrap the hands around the heel, thinking about squeezing the core, finding your focus. If you fall out, just come back into it. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Gently tipping that right foot back to the mat, toes facing the same direction. Bending the left leg, coming into our crescent lunge. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, actively pressing that left knee out. Beautiful work, you guys. Transitioning to our warrior 2, pivoting the back foot so it's parallel with the back of your mat. Bringing the arms to a T, finding length in between your fingers. And on your next exhale, cartwheeling the hands down to the mat. Planting the hands, stepping back to high plank. If you'd like, you can drop down to your knees, but if you'd like more of a challenge, shifting the shoulders above the fingers, lowering yourselves almost to the mat, hovering above. Untuck the toes. Inhale, straightening the arms to come into upward facing dog. Heels together, pressing into the tops of the feet. And we're going to exhale into child's pose. Amazing work. Bringing the mind back to the body, noticing any sensations. Noticing the breath. Feeling the pressure of your hands, your forehead, your knees, your feet on the mat. Beautiful. We're going to challenge ourselves in this next little mini flow. But remember that intention. Allow yourself to fuck up. It's fine. Mistakes happen. It's a part of life. The important part is getting back up and trying again. One more deep breath. And on your exhale, lifting up. Planting the hands, tucking the toes, lifting into our downward facing dog. You have the option to stay in our regular down dog, but if you'd like to add a little variation, we're going to plant into that left foot and bend the right leg, pulling the right heel towards the bum, but keeping the knees aligned for a flamingo variation. This is just going to intensify the stretch on the left leg. Beautiful. On your next inhale, straighten the leg to come into our split dog. And then exhale, step in between the hands, pivot the back foot, rise up, meeting in our warrior two. Amazing, building strength in our legs, in our shoulders. Straightening the front leg, shifting the torso forward, and then dropping the right hand to the right shin, taking your gaze up to the left hand for our triangle pose. Beautiful. Releasing this pose, rising up and stepping forward to come into our mountain pose. Putting your weight into the right foot, lifting the left knee. And we're going to roll out our ankle, going in one direction and then the other, squeezing the core, keeping that knee nice and high. And from here, we're going to transition into our warrior three pose. So when you're ready, gently shifting to bring that left leg behind us, keeping it parallel to the mat, and then extending the arms out in front of you to help with your balance. Again, squeezing the core, pull the thighs together, find something to focus on the mat. Beautiful. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently releasing to come back into our mountain pose. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, bend the arms, lift the chest and the face. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Pausing here for breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands, stepping back to high plank, and going through whatever chaturanga you like, whether it's dropping the knees or keeping your torso lifted off the mat. But either way, we're meeting in a child's pose. I'm actually going to take a second here to grab a sip of my tea. You're welcome to grab some water as well. Very nice. Beautiful. And then meeting back in your child's pose when you're ready to resume the flow. One more nice deep breath in this pose. And on your exhale, shifting forward, planting the hands, tuck the toes, meeting in downward facing dog. Again, an option to stay in regular downward facing dog, taking whatever movement you need. Or if you'd like to try that flamingo variation again, planting the weight into the right foot, bending the left knee, pulling that heel to the bum, keep the knees aligned. Breathing into that sensation on that right leg. And on your next inhale, straightening that left leg to the sky. On your next exhale, stepping the left foot in between the hands, pivoting that back foot and meeting in our warrior two pose. Feeling really strong, feeling good. Giving yourself space to make mistakes and learn from them. And we'll shift into our triangle pose from here. So straightening that front leg, shifting the torso forward, letting that left hand come to the left shin, taking your gaze up to the right hand. One more breath here. And we'll give ourselves a bend in that front leg, lifting ourselves up and stepping forward to come into our mountain pose. Rolling the shoulders up and down away from the ears. Putting your weight into that left foot this time, picking up the right foot, rolling out that ankle, going in one direction and the other. Squeezing the core. And then from here, shifting into our warrior three by gently kicking that leg behind us, extending our arms, bringing our torso parallel to the mat. Squeeze that core, pull the belly button to the spine. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing back into our mountain pose. Very good. Maybe giving the feet a little bit of love. Ooh, my foot just cracked. Rolling up onto the toes. Beautiful. Inhale the hands to the sky. Exhale, bend the arms, lift the chest and face to the sky. Inhale, bring the hands back up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Taking a moment here, pedaling out the feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Pause for breath. Shift forward, go through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, meeting back in our child's pose. Amazing work, everyone. All right, we're going to lift ourselves up. We're just gonna do a couple poses to challenge ourselves here. You have the option just to stay in your child's pose or go into whatever pose feels good for you right now. But we are going to shift into our crow pose just to challenge ourselves a little bit here. So we're going to come up onto our toes here and plant the hands. Then from here, we'll shift our knees so that they are sitting on top of our biceps, almost on our triceps. So I know a lot of people, when they try to do this pose, they'll have their knees on the outside of their bicep, but that's gonna make this really challenging to do. So making sure the knees are sitting on top of the arm. My knees are cracking all kinds of ways today. Planting the hands, and then shifting the weight forward. So the weight of our knees is on our biceps, okay? You can stay right here if you like. This could be enough for you. If you wanna bump it up, if this is challenging, think about lifting 1 foot at a time and pointing the toes. Do that a couple times. And then, if you're feeling up to it, we will allow ourselves to shift forward a little bit more and lift the toes off the mat, coming into our crow. Squeeze the core. Beautiful. And come out. If you fall on your face, that's okay. If you're one of my YouTube subscribers, you're probably a kickboxer. You can just tell people that somebody punched you. It's fine. All right, straighten the legs, meet in forward fold. We're gonna try that one more time. When you're ready, bending the knees, planting the hands, bringing the knees to sit on top of the triceps, shifting forward, and either lifting one toe at a time or lifting both. Maybe you have it in you to extend one leg fully. Oh boy. Do I have it in me? I don't think so. All right, coming out of that pose, amazing work. Now we're gonna shift into our cool down. Bring the knees to the mat, and we're gonna meet on our bellies. Bring all the way down to the bellies, bring the arms so that they're parallel with the front of your mat, and bring the forehead to rest on the arms, meeting in our crocodile pose. Maybe giving the hips a little wiggle to release tension in the back. Beautiful. We're gonna lift our chest up and then shift our left arm so that it's a little bit more in front of us so we can support our chest here. Bend the right leg, reach back with the right hand, and pull the right heel towards the bum. And then if you like, you can melt back down, bringing the forehead to that left arm. And just enjoy this nice quad stretch. And gently release that foot, bringing the right hand back underneath your forehead. And we'll take that stretch to the other side. Lifting the chest up, adjusting that right arm to support you. Bending the left leg, reaching back to take hold of the left foot. Pulling the heel to the bum and maybe relaxing back down if it feels good for you. Beautiful. Gently release that left foot. Come back to your crocodile pose. Take a couple breaths here. All right, we'll shift into another pose here. We'll pull the elbows underneath the shoulders, lifting the chest up to come into this Sphinx-like position. But then we're gonna take the right knee and pull it up to the elbow and point the toe out to the side. So it's kind of like a Sphinx frog mix. Keep that chest nice and lifted. Beautiful. Couple more breaths. And releasing that right knee back down. And we'll take that to the other side. Bending the left knee up to and pulling it up to the left elbow, pointing the toes out. A couple more breaths. And releasing that knee back down. And we're going to plant the hands and press into a quick child's pose just to relieve any tension you might have gotten in your lower back there. And you can stay in this child's pose if this feels good for you, or if you want to turn this into a frog variation, just take the toes and point them. Oh, my little cat is in the way. I'm going to have to shift up a little bit. Turn the toes out to the side, and that's just going to change the sensation of where you're feeling the stretch. If you want to intensify this pose a little bit, you can lift up, crawling onto the hands, and then pressing into it. I also like to call this pose Instagram Girl at the Beach. Beautiful. We're going to shift forward, release our toes so that they're facing backwards, and then we're going to shift to move onto our backs. Extending the arms out in front of you, rolling back one vertebrae at a time. The slower, the better. Pulling the knees up to the chest, giving yourself a little hug, maybe rocking side to side. And opening the knees, bringing the hands in between the knees to hold on to the shins, the outside of the feet, or the two big toes with your index finger and your pointer finger. And then when you're ready, extending the soles of the feet to the sky, rocking side to side if that feels good for you. Beautiful. Gently releasing your feet, bringing the soles of your feet together, allowing the knees to fall outwards. And this will be our final pose. We will end class here. If you'd like to get more cozy, if you'd like to just move into a regular Shavasana, you're welcome to do that as well. But placing one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart, bringing your mind to the breath, noticing the cool air coming in through the nose, noticing how it feels going down the throat, feeling the lift in your chest, and feeling that process reverse, the dropping of your chest, warm air exiting out through your nose or mouth. Bringing your attention to the forehead and softening the muscles in the forehead and around the eyes, unclenching the jaw, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, allowing your glutes to melt, relaxing the quads, the calves, your feet, and taking a couple minutes of quiet gratitude for yourself for showing up today, for allowing yourself to make mistakes, and finding it within you to pick yourself back up and keep going. And if you are ready to come back into awareness, you can keep your eyes closed, but wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe noticing sounds inside the room, or sounds outside the room. Noticing the temperature of the air on your skin. And bending the knees, maybe gently guiding the knees closed out of that butterfly position. And shifting over onto one side, maybe extending an arm to use as a pillow. We'll just stay here for a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, blinking the eyes open and pressing up to come into a comfortable seat. And that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me on my Patreon. I hope you enjoyed this month's video. I had to film it twice. Technology. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can go over there. Same name, Yoga with Dojo Cat. Like and subscribe. I'd love to have you in my little dojo. Every friend matters. And that is it. I'll see you guys next month. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me at DojoCat713. You can join me for a live class. That information's on my social media somewhere. And that's it for today. I will see you guys next month. Go drink some water, be kind to yourself, and be kind to others. Os.